Say as long as there's a tag saying made in China, the bag can never be luxury. However, in fact, more than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China. But those luxury brands just won't acknowledge that. They take almost finished bags from China factories back to their own factories and just do the repackaging and logo installing, something like that. That way, the bags will appear at their boutiques as made in Italy or made in France. You know, those sophisticated European countries, which make you feel mysterious, royal, and thus luxury.
This tariff war between China and the United States is getting very interesting. You know, the gloves is off, man. The gloves is off because China basically say, I'm ready for war, whether you like it or not. They're exposing secrets, especially secrets from luxury brands such as Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Gucci, and we're seeing the impact of it. You know, there's videos that's circulating basically where a lot of Chinese are talking about where most of these manufacturers basically get their product. And most of their product, 80% of over 80% of it basically come from China. It is made in China and it is shipped to their country where they only just put the brand or a tag on it and then they ship it throughout the whole world basically saying they made it. You know, this is very interesting because there's so many people out there who basically purchase these luxury brand in such a high price because China just revealed that these prices is basically 1/10 of what they profit from. Basically, they make about 1/10 profit from it. And these companies, they sell it in an enormous amount of profit. And it's very interesting to see these type of videos. And a lot of brands are basically being impacted from this trade war, especially luxury brand, especially clothing brand that depends so much on Chinese manufacturer. As we take a look at this, man, I really think a lot of people will be impacted from this trade war. And a lot of people will be basically affected by it indirectly or directly. And also a lot of companies also will basically feel the impact of this, whether we like it or not. And there's so many companies that's also basically having the same situation as these luxury brands. And there's so many industries out there that also basically have their product be made in China. And this is just on the luxury brand sector. Imagine now if you go to pharmaceutical, if you go to agricultural, or if you go to many other industries, how many industries also made in China that could be also affected, just like this luxury brand?
I will tell you 30 luxury brands. Some of their products are made in China. Ralph Lauren, Armani, Nike, Dior, Lululemon, Apple, Michael Kors, Coach, Calvin Klein, Prada, Baleine, Swarovski, Adidas, The North Face, Rimowa, Levi's, Burberry, Versace, Chanel, Cartier, Ferragamo, Timberland, Yves Saint Laurent, Victoria's Secret, Puma, Uniqlo, Disney, Max Mara, Givenchy. The producing cost is only 1/10 of its price. Can you believe it? Fellow Helen, you're a business advisor in China.
So she just mentioned the name of company that basically work with Chinese manufacturers to basically design their product. She mentioned Prada, she mentioned Chanel, Louis Vuitton, and there's so many other lists that she probably left out because the company is basically selling their brand. They're not selling you the product, they're selling their brand because that's basically what is valuable and that's what basically is a luxury for them. So that's why you see a lot of people are basically gravitating towards them because they do a great job with marketing, with branding. So many of these companies basically depends on cheap labor. And that's probably one of the reasons why they probably were attracted to go to China to basically have their product be made for cheap in places like China. Because China have skilled worker. There's no doubt about that. And they also have cheap labor, which is attractive for a lot of companies out there who's trying to make a bigger profit. Ever since China was introduced in the World Trade Organization in 2001, and China basically utilized this opportunity to basically propel themselves up economically. And we have seen it. And we have seen how basically China has changed throughout the years. And a lot of companies basically felt it was very attractive for them to basically go to China and install there so they can basically make a lot of profit off the cheap labor and the skilled workers that China's have. And today, a lot of countries, especially in the West, mainly America, is probably looking back saying, man, we should have probably never done that. We should have probably never invited China in the World Trade Organization. Now look what they're doing to us. Now they're basically outcompeting us in a way, or trying to outcompete us in so many sectors. And this also goes for the luxury brand. As you can see, China is basically sending out a message to all the American customers, to all the American consumers who are a fan of these luxury brands, basically saying, listen, cut off the middleman. You don't have to go through these Gucci store, Louis Vuitton store to purchase the same quality of item for such a huge price when you can come directly to us, the manufacturer, and you can buy the same product with the same quality that Gucci and Chanel and Louis Vuitton have. People will not know the difference, and you will pay even way less than what you will pay if you go buy, for example, in the Louis store or Louis Vuitton store, or you go buy at the Chanel store. And they're basically utilizing platforms such as TikTok to basically send out their message. Whether you agree or disagree with the government, try to shut down TikTok, it's basically a platform that China is using to send out a message to basically capture the attention of so many American consumers. And this is a very interesting move, whether you like it or not. And so far, it has an impact, and it caught a lot of people's attention.
This Birkin bag at Hermes boutique will cost you 38,000 USD. But what is the real cost out of the factory? Today, I'm going to break it down in front of you.
So it costs a Birkin bag $1,400 to be made in China, and it'll be sold at the store for about $38,000. Oh my God. $38,000. That's awfully a lot of money. I know for the people that have the money to buy it, go ahead and buy it. But $38,000 is almost the equivalent of what someone make in the United States, what an average person make in the United States. Because the average person makes around $36,000 to $35,000. So there's people out there that will basically spend about $38,000 just to buy a Birkin bag. And with $38,000, you can put that as a down payment for a house. You can use that to probably purchase a, 2025 car. You can use $38,000 to basically put in good use. Let's just put it like that.
Cost out of the factory. Today, I'm going to break it down in front of you step by step. First thing first, Hermes only use the leathers from the 3 top-level suppliers. One is called Muti from Italy. And the second is Weinheim from Germany. And the third is Baz from France. One piece of Togo leather, the same leather as this one, will cost 450 USD. And one piece of the leather is only enough to make one Birkin, okay? The thread. And of course, for Hermes Birkin, the thread is also the best top level. It's called Fil al Chinois from France. This is actually the Rolls Royce.
I know there's people out there, who like to show off with what they have. And there's people that like the finer things in life. But you also have people that will try to basically buy things to show off for the people that don't even like them. I get that too. But at the same time, this expose from China, is very interesting. It has been rumored that most product is made in China. But now since China basically came out in public, it's very interesting, and it's really affecting a lot of people in a way, because a lot of people are looking like, wow, I spent this much money just for this product when I could have probably got it for cheap. It just got me thinking. I'm like, man, how many people basically broke up a relationship because their spouse could not afford to basically purchase them a luxury brand purse such as Gucci or Chanel or Louis Vuitton? How many women basically broke up a relationship because their significant other could not purchase the luxury brand for them because that's what they wanted because all their friends have it? There's a lot of people like that. And it also got me thinking like, wow, how many people basically lost their lives? You know, imagine you're walking at the street, for example, or somebody came up to you and say, give me your purse. And the lady was like, no, I don't want to. And she ended up getting attacked and she lost her life. And for over a purse that she bought for $1,000, but it was probably made for $10. You know, how many people basically lost their lives because of these type of products? And also, how many people basically lost their freedom? How many people basically went to one of these luxury brand store and tried to steal a product and they were given 20 years, 15 years in prison? There's so many cases like that, and so many people, you know, are affected by it, whether we like it or not. And this tariff war, I believe, is just the beginning. You know, China is retaliating in their own ways, and the US is also retaliating in their own ways. At the end of the day, the consumer, the people are going to be the one that's going to basically feel the impact of this tariff. And this is just the beginning. You know, just recently, President Donald Trump announced that he will raise the tariff to 245%. That's a lot. And I believe China is going to retaliate to their own ways. Let me know what you guys think in the comment about this luxury brand, and what do you guys think about it? Would you ever buy one?